Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I am here to work with my scraps for Scrappy Saturday that I've been doing every weekend for the last, I think this is number 11. So I'm kind of excited to share with you something here on my table. Can you see this? Something different. I think it's showing up in the camera. So I was at Salvation Army today. I walked around. I was just, there was a guy putting out stuff, a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of stuff out. I mean, my little Salvation Army here in my local town has been rocking it since they opened back up. They just have had some great stuff and full. You know, you don't want to go in and see empty shelves. My Goodwill, I don't know what's going on there. They had a bunch of stuff outside. But inside they had like some of the shelves were empty, so I don't know if they're reorganizing, shuffling. I don't know what they're doing, but I've been disappointed in them ever since they reopened. But Salvation Army has really been doing good. So today, as I said, there was a guy putting out stuff. Kept walking around. What is he putting out? You know, because it looks like some good stuff. So I was walking around, and this is a mat. This is a mat. What do you call it? It's a it's a Fisker's mat, cutting mat. Sorry, couldn't think of what it was called, but it's a Fisker's cutting mat. It's the size is 36 inches by 23. It's huge, right? So I was like, wow, it's so big, but I don't even care. I'm getting it. I don't know if it's too big for my table, but it was brand new. It had the new little sticker on it. And the only thing I can figure out, there's a little mark right here, a black mark, like something ran over it, or, you know, it's dropped and it got a little damage there. So maybe the store that, I couldn't tell what store it came from, but the store maybe that had it donated it to Salvation Army because they couldn't sell it with a black mark on it. And I wiped it off a little bit with a baby wipe, but it hasn't come off yet, and I really don't care if it doesn't come off because I think it's beautiful now. It'll protect my table, you know, from side to side. It goes way over there. And this side is, as you can see, pink with red lines, and the other side is, let me tell you, yellow with pink lines, so I can turn it over too. So anyway, super pretty. It'll protect my table. Now I have all my little inch measurements right in front of me. So I was just really excited. Oh, and I didn't tell you the price. $3.99. $3.99. I don't know how much this was originally, but I did see a Westcott. I went to Walmart after that. A Westcott cutting mat that was like tiny, like this, for $5.89. I think it was at Walmart. So I know this had to be like $20, $25 or something brand new. $3.99. I was happy. So it's a good day. Anyway, I'm here with a scrappy video today and doing something different. Since I've been working on cinch bound journals, I was like, well, I wonder if I can make some little cinch bound notebooks using my scraps. So that's what I'm going to try today. I already cut out a couple of covers here, so I'm going to use those. And then I just, you know, thought I'd just mess around here with you on video, cutting up papers and pages and stuff. So this, I'll tell you the size, if I can find my ruler. Well, hello, I got my cutting mat. See, I'm gonna have to get used to that. Let's see how it works. 3 inches wide approximately by, this is cool. Now I have a measurement. I don't have to grab my ruler, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little over, about 4 1/4, almost 4 1/2. That's awesome. This is going to come in handy. It's so cool, right? Anyway, yeah, I've never seen one at a thrift store. I thought I never would. I mean, I had it kind of like in the back of my mind. If I ever see one, you know, I'll get it. But I wasn't really on my radar. And I saw it, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a cutting mat for $3.99. Anyway, so here's 2 covers. And so I have pulled out some more cardstock here that I can make covers up out of. All of these are from my, I have 4 pages here from my craft box, and so then I have like a lot of paper sitting around here anyway from projects I'm working on, so I thought I would just cut up some of those. I mean, I got book pages, I have, you know, writing paper, blank paper, whatever I need. So I'm just going to grab some book pages. They can be different sizes, but I'm going to have whole pages here so I can cut some of these up. And just to see, I just have to see, here's my, here's one of my wires, and I'm going to bind it right here on this video, hopefully that's the plan. Here's some of the wires. These are, here's how they come in this little box. These are 3/4 inch Zutter wires. These are black, so that's how I get them. And so see, this is kind of how I measure. I kind of go like this when I'm putting my pages in. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not getting any more in there, you know, once I get a bunch in there, and, you know, then I know I need to stop and just go ahead and bind it. Right, so let's put some pages in here. Let's see. So I said they need to be, the pages themselves need to be a little under 3 inches, and then a little under, well, about 4 1/4 inches long. So that, let's just grab some book pages here first that I can use up. Some that would be good for actual pages in a journal, you know. So this is, let's see, what book was this? I'm not sure. It's a children's book. But there's all different kind of stuff in here, it looks like. So let me see. Let me just go through here and pick out a few of these to cut up. And we'll see. I would like to make a bunch, but of course, you know, we'll see how many we make in about 30 minutes. Okay, just here's some book pages. And this is another book here. So these are different. You see, different sizes. And then I've got coffee dyed pages here. I could put some of these in. I've got cardstock if I wanted to use any of that, just little pieces like that. So let's first of all cut up the book pages and get those going. And the ones I've used I'm going to put back over there so I don't use those again. I guess we'll just work on one and then see if we have time to do any more. But then you can get the idea of what I'm doing here and what it's going to look like. This, it looks like, yeah. It's, yeah. Okay, see, these have pictures. I'm trying to figure out, do I just need to worry about the pictures, or do I just want to just cut wherever, you know, all willy-nilly. I think I'm going to just cut willy-nilly, you know. I mean, these are nothing special, like, oh, I want to save that picture type of thing. So I'm just going to cut willy-nilly. And not worry about what's on the page and see how it comes out. Sometimes that's just fun. See what happens, you know. So I hope everyone's having a great weekend, a great Saturday. It's glorious outside today. I was outside. I knew I needed to come into wanted to come into a video. I mean, I was dying to do this too, but it's so beautiful outside. I was like, I want to do something outside. So I usually do my garden and outside work on Sunday, but it was so wonderful outside. I went outside, and it's nice and warm. I love hot weather. So I'm from Florida, so I know I always say that, but just in case you haven't heard me say that, I'm from Florida. Now I live in North Carolina. It gets hot here too, but I think it does get hotter in Florida. But so I'm used to the hot weather. So when summer comes around, I mean, I love spring and fall too. Love, love, love those. But when the warm weather comes, I mean, I would, if I could have warm weather all year round, I would, because I just love like shorts and flip-flop time, you know. Give me shorts and flip-flops and I'll be happy all year round. I wish I could wear shorts and flip-flops. So but yeah, it's so nice and warm. I went out, and if you guys remember me talking about you know, my war with my weeds, I am finally conquering my weeds. I got new weed killer, and I mixed it up right. I read the directions, mixed it up. And these are, see, now on Cinch bound, you can cut them the exact size of your pages. You don't have to put them in like you do with pages that you make signatures and sew them in, and how they protrude out when you put them together. That doesn't happen with this. So if you have them right even with your cover, you're good. I mean, if you don't like them even with your cover, you could put them in a little bit, but like I just cut these even with my cover and they're fine, and then I rounded the corners and you can see it's just fine. So let's see what we have left here. See how many pages we can get in here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to size. Maybe I'll cut this side. And these are going to be these are going to be shorter, but that's okay. This is junk journal style. So let me just measure. Actually, let me take the pages out and just use the cover to measure here, one of the covers. And so, yeah, I'm conquering my weeds finally. They're finally dying. I was so happy this week. I had gotten my new weed killer a couple weeks ago and used it, and then this week I was going out and my weeds were like brown and disintegrating, and you know, I was so happy to see them going away. So I am gaining power over my weeds and they're going away, and now I'm in control again of my weeds. So that's part of my gardening work around here. So that's you know, a battle that I was having, and now it's my work is slacking off because the weeds are dying. But now you got to keep up with the new ones, right? There's always new ones popping up. So, but I'm ahead of them now. I'm ahead of the game, so I'm happy about that. And then I posted a picture on Facebook and Instagram of my tomatoes that I harvested today. I harvested some. Let's cut off this white edge over here and see what we have left. We don't need all that. We're just using a book page here. And so yeah, cherry tomatoes, a bunch. Got enough for salad, big salad, so for me and my husband, so that's awesome. And everything else is growing, you know, which is a good thing, because I was just able to plant at the end of May, really, because it was a cold spring. You know, that's happened once before where I couldn't plant until like the end of May. Sometimes I plant in March, like March is like, in March it's hot already, but this year it wasn't, so I had to wait. But so yeah, planted at the end of May. Everything sprouted. Peppers, cucumbers, and green beans were planted from seed. They all sprout and have little plants. And my tomatoes, I bought plants, and so they're growing. They're growing. So I was worried, like a couple weeks went by and like, oh, well, what happened? My tomatoes aren't doing anything. But now the regular tomatoes, and I'm talking about the cherry tomatoes, the regular tomato plants are growing. They got taller, so quite a bit taller this week, so that's good. Maybe they'll start having tomatoes soon. And then my cherry tomatoes, what happened with those and why they're already I'm already harvesting is that Walmart had some on clearance, like bigger ones, plants. You know, they were bigger. Like, how much were they? They were like almost $9, I think, regularly. These poor babies were leaning over in their pots because they had bunches of tomatoes on there, and they were leaning over in their pots, and I was like, oh, I gotta take those home and save those because they're just gonna die, you know, or something. So, and I you know, I had room for a couple plants, so I brought them home, planted them in the ground, got them all upright, and, you know, reinforced, put tomato cages over them, and got them all stabilized. And so, has it been 2 weeks or 1 week? Yeah, it's only been 1 week, and a lot of the tomatoes turned red, so that's why I got to harvest some cherry tomatoes already. So that was awesome. And then there's a bunch more on there. I bought 2 of those cherry tomatoes for $3 each. And like I said, they were normally, what did I say, almost $9 each. So I figured, you know, I got my money's worth just with the tomatoes. Because if you buy a little thing of cherry tomatoes, they're like almost $3 or more than $3. So I got my money back just by getting the first bunches of tomatoes off of there, or I will by the time I get all the tomatoes off of there, and then I'll hopefully get more tomatoes. So let's cut up couple of these pages. let's like save ourselves some time and fold it in half. And then we'll have double-sided. This is the Coffee Dye Digital, just to try this out, from Sheree. I don't want to waste any of it though. Let me see. The best way to do this. Maybe I'll go like this, because then I can get, two. Nope, nope, nope. Two this way. I still have a little strip on the bottom, but I guess I can print more out, of course. I wanted to try this, see how they look. I haven't used any of the, I printed these out, but I haven't used any. I just printed them out yesterday and haven't used any yet, so I want to use some. A little bit of that so I don't cut it. Oh, I cut it crooked. Did you see that? I cut it crooked. Let's see how crooked it is. Okay, so that's what I did today. Besides, I went to Walmart, you know, in Salvation Army, like I already said. I got my mat, my cutting mat there, and I'll share the rest of my goodies from my thrifting on Tuesday. But I went to Walmart, and so my Walmart report this week was, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you know, it's so weird to be so happy to get toilet paper. I was like the happiest girl in the world. I got toilet paper today. Woo! I mean, I felt like I was just the queen of the world. I don't know what happened. But no, what happened was they had, what's been happening is I get there and there's empty boxes. So today I was like, oh, here we go. More empty boxes, but I always walk down that aisle just to make sure they're all empty, and there was 2 12-packs. I couldn't believe it. I was like, couldn't believe my eyes, and I said, I don't care what kind it is. I'm getting it because, you know, I was getting a little close at home and I don't want to run out. So I got one and put it in my buggy, and I was like, oh, wow, you know, people are going to see that in my buggy, and there's only one more after this, and I hope hope I'm okay with this in my buggy. But inside, I was just like jumping up and down. I was so happy and the queen of the world because I got toilet paper in my buggy. And somebody did notice I was walking by the clothes, and I was looking at some t-shirts. And when there was some girls there, and they standing there, and they saw the toilet paper in my buggy. I have one of those double carts, the little ones, you know, those little carts that Walmart has now. It's a double upper lower. I had it in the lower, and the girls were like, oh, they have toilet paper. And I said, oh, there's only one left. You better get over there and get it if you want it, because there's only one more after this one. And they were like, oh, you know, it's probably already gone. You know, I don't know if they went over there or not, but it was pretty funny that I had to, you know, I'm like, get over there and get it, because there's only one left. So, but yeah. I got me some toilet paper, got me a cutting mat, so such an exciting day. But that's my Walmart report. Everything else was the same, pretty much. Where else did I go? I went to my little mom and pop thrift store, but I didn't buy anything there. They didn't have anything really new. But she told me she was having a yard sale at her house today. And I said, well, and she said, and she lives near me. We didn't really know we lived near each other. So, let's see. So we've got book pages. We've got coffee dye paper. So she told me where she lived, and it was right on my way home. So you know, it's not like the usual way I go home, but I can go home that way. So I went home that way, and let me grab some more paper. Behind me, I've got graph paper, ledger paper. So we're going to grab some of that. So I went by and I bought at her house. It cost me a whole 45 cents because everything was really cheap. Her husband was there. She was at the store, and her husband was at their home manning the yard sale. But I bought a book and 2 yardsticks. And the yardsticks were colors. Like, I have a little collection of colorful yardsticks. Like I like old vintage colorful yardsticks. I don't buy any kind of natural wood, unless I do have one natural wood that's really big and thick. That's the only natural wood one I have. But I collect the colored ones, and I haven't been seeing them, or if I do see them, their price is ridiculous, so I don't buy them. But he had two there. What colors are they? I think a pink, or orangish and pinkish, I think it is. Anyway, he had about 2 yardsticks and an old, really cool old English book. It was a little musty, so I have it outside sitting in this nice fresh air today, airing out. But yeah, and that all cost me a total of 45 cents. And I was like, oh, sorry, I thought I would spend more here at your yard sale, but you know, at least, you know, I did buy 3 things, so I tried. But yeah, that's all I saw that I would want, you know. But it was neat to go buy. And the English book I'll show you on Tuesday. It's really cool. It's got pictures in it, and it's like a children's English textbook. Very cool, very cool. Okay, so now we have some writing paper in here. And I pulled over some ledger paper, so let's cut up some of that. This is very vintage. It's called General Estimate, the type of ledger paper here. And it says General Estimate right there. So it's very cool ledger paper. I'm calling it ledger paper. I guess it's ledger paper. So let's cut some of these. And that's about all I did today. Work out in the yard, run my errands. I did crafting this morning, which I did crafting this morning to clean up. And it ended up crafting until almost too late, because I needed to run to the post office before they closed. And I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta get going. It's 11 o'clock. I was like, I gotta get dressed and get out of here. Stop crafting. So then I came home and got my work done pretty much, and threw in a load of laundry and came in here to do this video because I was really, really itching to, well, first of all, I wanted to try this mat out on my table, and second, I wanted to make one of these little cinch bound notebooks. It's really going to end up being like a little junk journal, I guess, right? It's going to be cute, I think. Let's see, how do I want this? This looks like it's upside down, so let's turn that around. Yeah, let's do it like that. I'm just rounding the this side of the corners, the right side of the page. Okay, so let's kind of get these in order, how they're going to be, so we can, as soon as we're done cutting pages, we can bind. So I've got book page, ledger. I want to put I think I'll put, for right now, since I don't have any other like great page to put in the front, I'm going to put, oh, this is the different size page. I'm going to put a pretty coffee dyed page in the front, book page, ledger page. Okay, and then we'll start that cycle over. Coffee, book page, well, that's graph, then ledger, okay, then coffee, book page, is that 2? Yeah, and some graph, and then coffee, where's my coffee? Coffee, book page, and I think I'm going to cut some more ledger so we have more of that. And then I've got a bunch behind me too I can grab. So let's see. Yeah, so I have a bunch of book pages left. So it's getting there. It takes a minute to cut these pages, right? And yeah, it looks good, right? Okay, so we need about twice as many. I wasn't sure how this would go as far as, you know, just cutting pages, but we're making a little notebook. So let's see if we can cut more than 2 pages at a time. I've got 2 ledger and about a few graph here. So let's cut, like, this is about 5. Maybe we can go a little faster and cut 5 at a time. We'll try. I'm giving it a try at least. Okay. There we go. Sometimes it works, my cutter works better when I put like these graph papers so thin. When I put like one page in there, it doesn't even actually cut very well. It cuts better if I put more pages in there anyway. So, especially of that kind of thin paper. Okay, let's go ahead and round all of our corners here at one time while we have them together. Yep, that fits in there too. Cool. I'm loving this mat. So cool to look down and see that. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's go back to where we were. We had, I think in the back here, we were getting down to just book pages. So we got coffee, book page, graph. Okay, now we have book page, graph, book page, book page, book page. Okay, so let's see, we got graph. Let's put a ledger, book page, graph, ledger, book page. Okay, we still need more variety here. So let's cut up a couple more. Let's cut up about 5 of these. I love these ledgers, but let me see what else I have behind me. I have some stationery, I have some plain, I have some lined. Let me grab a lined and a plain kind of gold color here. That's about 5 or 6 pages, so let's see how those do. And I'm going to grab my cover here to measure. Where is my cover? I think I covered it up. Yeah, I did. It's right here. Now I've got everything mixed up. Okay, it goes like this, I think. There we go. Okay, sorry, I'm talking quiet, I know. Just kind of getting organized here. Here's some trash. This is trash, trash, trash. Get rid of that. This, I don't know. Putting all the stuff, that new scraps over there. Okay, we're cutting this pile. There's quite a few. I don't know if this will cut, but we're going to try it so we can get done here, so this video doesn't get too awfully long. Okay. Is it going to cut? It did. Awesome. Okay, that means it's going to cut this way for me too. I wonder, I think I'm going to cut, just move it over a little bit, and maybe I'll have, see how it's like, this is all almost like it's wasted. It's not going to be wasted, but I wish I could get 2 pages across here, but I wanted to keep the lines going upright so I can have the lines going the right way instead of sideways, you know. Okay, some more scraps. I don't want any more scraps. Oh, I can't believe that cut. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know if that was going to go through that. That's a bunch of pages there. Yeah, I fertilized my garden today too, so we'll see. I hadn't fertilized anything yet, so I did that today. We'll see if that helps things grow a little faster and better and stuff like that. Okay. Alright, so we're in the back here where we were adding pages. Let's see, so we need some variety here. We've got lines, graph. Let's put some of this pretty color in here. And another book page. See how those came out? I just cut them willy-nilly, and there's a cute little picture there. That's why I just cut willy-nilly, because it's cool how sometimes they just come out really neat, even though you're not paying attention to what you're really cutting as far as framing out a picture or something. Okay, we've got ledger, we've got graph, and book page, ledger, graph, and the back. Okay, so I'm going to stick in some more. I don't think it's quite thick enough. So more ledger in the front here. Let's see, we'll put a piece of ledger here. I want to fill up that, coil, so let's put a piece of ledger here. And right here. And right here. Now I think we need a little bit more color as far as colorful pages. Here's what it looks like so far. Let's grab the rest of these pages that we just cut and cut these to fit. All we need to do is cut off the side here. And then we might have enough to bind. We'll see. Let me get it slid up to the top there. Okay, let me make sure that's right. Yep, okay. Now we're going to round our corners. Yep, did it again. At first it feels like it's not going to cut, and then it goes through. It's awesome. Okay. All right, let's see what we have. Let's put a piece of color. I might have to grab, depending on, is that the only colorful sheet I have in here? Because this is all ledger. I want another colorful sheet. I'll put these in there, but I want some color. Let me grab it. Bunch of color here. Got 2, 3. What else do I want that's color? 1, 2. Okay. This will add some color. This will definitely add some color. Yeah, let's do it this way this time, because this doesn't matter which direction it goes in. No lines here. So these are papers, the ones I have behind me, I've been using in my journals that I'm working on, the regular size, you know, book journals. And pretty much, I mean, I have all the pages in those, so everything that I have cut that's sitting in back of me now is extra. I wouldn't put it in my scrap box, but they're all cut and need to be used. They're cut to the size of my journals that I was making. But now, you know, if I don't use some of them, I'm going to have to just put them in my closet here or somewhere in my craft room. So I figured, you know, if I can make some of these little notebooks, that would be a way to use them, and then I won't end up like, kind of like technically scraps, because they were extras and they're going to be put away now. So even though they're not in my scrap box, they're all, I'll show you, they're all this size right here for my Cinch bound journals. And not that I won't be making more, but you know, if I don't have to put them away, I've got more paper, I don't have to keep them for, you know, the next bunch of journals that I make in that size. And who knows when that'll be, because I've got some other projects, you know, to do after these. So yeah. All right, so there we got some color now. Now this should be good. Okay, so I still like the coffee dyed in the front. Then we have a color, flip page, ledger, graph. Go 5 different pages. And some more color. Let's get one of these other ones. Plaid with the coffee dye on the back. And then a little book page, ledger. Let's put one of these lined pages. It's a short one, but that's okay. It's a junk journal notebook. And let's see, what do we need here? Let's put another one of these. And then coffee. We've got ledger. We've got, let's see what else we have here. Just color over here. And ledger over here. So this is ledger here. Let's see, let's put a plaid, book page, graph, color, ledger, coffee. There's ledger here. Gosh, it's like a vicious cycle. It's not like I almost need some graph paper now. But I'm gonna just go with this and see how thick it is after we get these in here. Ledger, book page, plaid, ledger, graph. Let's see, we put plaid, so the next will be color, this color, ledger, book page, plaid, ledger, let's go ahead and turn book page, color, ledger, lines. Okay, so now we're at the back where we have color there. We need some color right here, and then that is going to be it. I think it might be thick enough. Okay, I think we can bind this. Make sure all my corners are rounded here. Not that I can't do it after, but this one looks like it's missing around a corner. Did I put it? Oh, it's backwards. Okay, there we go. That's what happened. Put it in backwards. Okay, now we've got all our corners in the right. All of our, see, this one's backwards too. So we've got all our rounded corners on this side. Okay, so now we want to get our papers. See, they're all pretty much the same size except those little ones, so I can just stack them up. I don't have to like get them in the middle, but I kind of would like some of them to be centered. So I'm just gonna like move them up into the center here. Like this one right here is a shorter one, it's a book page. And so before you bind your cinch, you need to just check if you're doing a cinch, check everything, make sure it's where you want it. Okay, so this is just using up, we're just using up this. The cover was from my scrap box and all the pages were from the scraps behind me. So there we go. Okay, see, it's pretty thick. I don't know how many pages in there, but there's quite a few. Let's see, so the way we bind, I've got my little zutter here, and the way you do this, I've got this little thing pulls out for stabilizing your machine so you don't tip it over. So you pull that out. This you put in to the size of your wire. So there's little measurements on here. Let me find a 3/4 inch. It's very small, so it's a little hard to see, but I have it on inch right now. So this little dial here just winds 3/4 inches right here, I believe. Let's see. I'm trying to think if it's. Let me see how this fits in here. You can kind of measure it this way too. And this, what happens is when you're cinching this together, you push this down, and so I think it, yeah, it's on top of the measure, on top of the line. The measurement is on top of the line you want to be at, because there's a measurement and then a line up here where it starts. So I have it on 3/4 inch. If it doesn't push it together enough, we can always tighten this up more and then do it again. And so that is ready. This, we're going to measure, because of course this is too long, right? So we need to cut it down. See how many will fit on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we go all the way from top to bottom, do we want to do that? Or we could put on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could put it on like this. That would be the easiest. Want to do that? Make it easy on me this time. If you want me to come back and do a 8 or something, I'll do that. But this time, let's do a 6. Since it's the first time I've ever done this on video, I don't know how it's going to go. Okay, so you just cut your wire off where you want it. I've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then you take your papers, you got them together. We already got them together. Let me make sure you can see my little machine here. Yes, you can see it. So what I usually do with my books is I cut the front and back cover first and then cut the pages. But that is because the pages are usually a little smaller than the book cover, right? Like a little shorter, a hair shorter, and a hair in from the side. But these are pretty much all the same size, so I don't feel like I really have to do that. So what I'm going to do is figure out, like, where is the middle? Where am I starting here? So I mean, I know. Let's see, where's my ruler? I want my ruler. Okay, so my ruler says this is 4. It's little 2 notches below or above the 4.5 mark. Okay, so 4.5. I'm just trying to figure out the middle. So go up, go, just if you want to figure out the middle. 4.5. So you got 2 up, and 2 up is right there. 2 inches up. 2 inches from the bottom is right here, and right in the middle of that is about right there. And it's not like it has to be perfect anyway, but just to let me know where the exact middle is. Okay, and so that's how you find your, that's how I would find my middle. But what I really want to know is, where do I want this, right? Where do I want this? I want it, I think, you know, it's like you don't have to measure exactly, but you kind of do. So say I want it right there. Okay, so what I do is measure this right here. This is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so we got that measurement. That's probably the most important measurement. 3/4 of an inch. Don't forget that. We're going to grab a bunch of paper. The amount I think will fit in here. Okay, so then I'm going to put it in here. This little slot right here is where you punch your holes. I'm putting it in there, and I'm going to put it in there where I think the middle is. But I'm going to measure that 3/4 of an inch over here. On here, in the front and the back of your cover or your papers or whatever you're cutting, are these little rectangles. Those are showing you where your holes are going to be. And it actually shows you the middle right here. There's a little arrow if that comes in handy for you. But what I'm doing is measuring my 3/4 of an inch with my ruler here from my last rectangle. So I'm going to measure and see if I'm 3/4 of an inch from that rectangle. And I am not. I need to go about right there, let's say. You can measure from the front or the back, whatever is easier for you. Maybe you all can see from the front. Okay, you still got to make sure all your papers are even in there. Measure your 3/4 of an inch. I'm moving my papers up just a little. I think I got them even. Let me measure the, let's see, measure the back. 2. See, the back looks like it needs to go, no, it's a little harder in the back to see, actually. But I think it's right. Okay, and you can kind of eyeball it. Does it look like it's in the middle? It pretty much does. Okay. So let's go ahead and punch, and I'll show you how I do the next bunch. Now the most important thing here, there's a little thing here that you use to when you do a longer, like a, you know, longer than 6 little prongs, that you use to help you keep everything in the right space. But right now we're not using that, and we won't need it this time because we're not doing more than 6. So you got to make sure that is out of your way, or else it will hold if it's pushed over, like we push it over when you're using it to line up your more than 6. Right now, you got to make sure it's pulled out of the way. Okay, so it is pulled out of the way. If it's not pulled out of the way and you end up with your this that you're cutting on top of that, you're going to have a jagged, angled cut, and that you don't want that, because that's no good. That's not what you want. It won't be right. You gotta have it flat. Is my point. Okay, so we got everything in there. It looks right. I've kind of been talking here, so let me measure one more time. And see, I'm moving it right now. This is what I go through when I do this. This first cut, you got to make sure it's in the right spot, or everything's just, you know, out of whack, and you got to fix it if you can. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. We're going with it. Okay, we're going to punch. So you got your papers in there. I kind of just hold on to them, and you press this down. You're punching your holes now. So you got to have it on a strong surface. So I have it on the kind of solid part of my table here. You got to have room to move my scrap box out of the way. Push this down. It is a little hard, and you can see it's all the way down over here. You can see when it's all the way down. Okay, then you let it go. Keep your fingers out of the way. This comes in and out right here. Got to keep your fingers out of the way of that. And you pull it out, and there you go. You have your 6 holes. We did it. The first punch. Okay, we're going to keep that together. Okay, this is what I do. When I punch, I go ahead and usually put it on here, but I'm going to wait this time because I want to use one of these for my measurement to measure the rest of my holes. So I'm just going to, usually I just put it on here, and as I'm punching I just put them on here, but this time I want to use my front cover here to measure the rest of my holes. So I'll just keep these together so that it's not hard to get my coil in there when I'm ready. Put it down over there and get the rest of my pages. We'll probably have to do 2 more punches here just to make sure we can get through it all. So we'll do 2 more sections like this. Let's see, this feels a little thick. Let me get like 1 more page, 1 or 2 more pages in this section. Okay, so I'm going to measure with this one where I want my holes. So I'm lining up, see I already have my holes here. I'm lining that up with my rectangles. I'm putting it in right lined up with my rectangles in the front and the back. I'm looking at the ones in the back. I could see those better. So for right now, so I'm lining that up and putting it down in here, even with my rectangles very carefully. Okay, I think I have it in there. Now I'm taking it out, and I'm going to kind of look at it again. You got to keep it upright. I'm going to look at it again and see if it looks like it's right here. And if you can see, maybe you can see it in the back. I don't know, but it looks. See, I'm holding the. I can see the holes out now. I'm holding it above, and I can see that they are. The papers are even with the cover, top and bottom, and I can see my holes are lined up from the cover with the rectangles. So I think I'm good to punch on these. Okay, there's my cover. I'm going to go ahead and hold these in place and punch again. I can feel that they're flat. My little thing's out of the way still. So I'm going to punch these all the way down. Fingers out of the way. There we go. Nicely punched. I'm going to put these together because I'm still going to use that cover for the last section. Putting them together with my first bunch of pages. Okay, now again, let's line this one up. Lining up my cover holes with the rectangles, putting it down in there carefully. Okay, and then pull that cover out carefully. Test it with top and bottom even. Rectangles, if you need to move it at this point, you can. Line it up with your rectangles and the rectangles on the cover. Okay, I think we are good. Pull that out. Punch again. Fingers out of the way. All the way down, all the way back up. There we go. Okay, that time we punched our back cover too. So we got it all together. Let's try to keep those holes together so we can get them in the coils easily. Put our front cover back on. And then you can sit down. Okay, so now, let's see now. I got my coil, I got my papers here. So here's the coils. You see, this is the front, where I put the front, this is the back. So you just put them in the holes. Usually I'm doing this as I'm going along, like I said, but I usually punch my front and back at the same time, and then I can go ahead and put my front on there. Okay, so it's all the way through. See that? All the way through. Now we're going to bind or smush the coils together with our little smusher here, our little coil masher. So you just kind of get your coils. See how they're kind of right in the middle? The book is right in the middle of the opening in the coils. So we're going to keep that like that and put it right down in here where we mash them. This part right here, this is where you want everything in between to be in there that you're going to mash together. You want it to be in front of this black piece because that's the masher. So, or the binder, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get technical. So let's push it together. Keep your fingers kind of out of the way up here. You know, push it. Usually I have to like push it all the way. And see, I said I didn't know if that was going to be enough, so we'll see. I have a feeling it's not going to be enough, but it's all the way as much as it will go. Okay, let's see how we did. So we have a little gap there. So I'm going to, I was wondering, so I'm going to push it up one more to the next line that they have on here, the next line of measurement. Okay, let's try that, see how that does. You don't want to mash it too much because you'll get these all wonky and kind of, you know, they won't look right. So we might not go all the way, but we're going to push a little bit more and see if they go. We want this all together. So let's mush it a little bit more and see what we think. Okay, I think it's pretty much all the way there. I mean, it's not letting me go anymore. Okay, so that is really together. Might have been a little bit too much, but I think it's okay. It's not coming apart at least. So I think it looks good, and usually I will clip off, see the little things sticking out here? I'll clip those off with my wire cutter. I have glasses on, but I would be careful. That usually goes flying. Usually I can't really catch it. You know, I mean, sometimes it lands on, I don't know if it's ever landed on my table. Usually it goes flying, so I just do this. See, it went flying over there somewhere, but now it's cut off. And I cut this one off too, usually. If it looks good, sometimes I might leave it, but if it doesn't, right now I don't think it looks good on here. So I just go ahead and cut that off. Don't know where that one went either. Okay, so I'll get this out of the way, and we have our little journal bound. If you think it went together too much, you could pull it apart a little bit. Let's see if we can pull this apart a little bit. I think it went together a little bit too much. You just kind of want it to meet, you know what I mean? There, that looks better, and it's not wonky. There we go. Yeah, see, that looks better. Okay, then you just kind of turn that to the back. That's how this one works. You just turn that back part to the back like that. All right, and then you have yourself a little cute little notebook bound with wire. And you can bind it if you want me to. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do one from the top. You can do one for the top, at the top too. Same thing, and just do the same thing you do on the side on the top, and it'll flip up. You can flip up, make a notebook that flips up. So I wanted to do one from the side today, so I like the side one because it looks like a little book. But if you want a little notebook like that flips up, you can do that. But here we'll just flip real quick, and you can see I picked this as a cover because it had the tree. I like that little tree. This is a digital kit from, oops, sorry, from Chevy Debbie Doodah. And so I wanted to, this little tree was cute, so, and I happened to print that double-sided, so I had a nice, you know, color on the back there. And then we've got, you can see our pages, you know what we put in here, we did it together, but, you know, it looks, when you're putting it together and it's finished, it just looks like, you know, now it looks like a little book. It looks like a little junk journal, right? It, you know, when you're just putting pages in here, it's like, it really, you know, when you get it bound, it's like, it's just a totally different feeling as far as, wow, it's actually a little book now, you know. I mean, they're all like that to me, like, wow, it's so cool. Look at what we made with the pages, you know, so cute. So yeah, so what do you think? I think it turned out cute. Used up some paper, used up one scrap from my scrap box, and like I said, I wanted to make more, but of course I'm not going to keep you guys here anymore, but I'll go ahead and maybe make a couple more. And I mean, I definitely want to do it. I just have projects, but I can do whatever I want, really. I just have my own deadlines that I impose on myself, right? So isn't it adorable? Yeah, so and it has lots of pages, writing, whatever. We could decorate it. So cute, okay? So, yeah, it's just a little like, almost like 3x4 pretty much. It was a little over. Like I said, just turn that to the back, and then you can see, again, just as a reminder, 3 inches wide, and it was about 4.5 inches long. Yep, so there you go. All right, that's it for today. I won't keep you anymore, but I hope you enjoyed that, and the outcome is super cool, and I'll see y'all next time, and have a great weekend, and happy crafting. See you next time.